I'll prefer someone that will tell me the truth and it hurts my feeling, but it preserves my future, than someone who will lie to me because they don't want to hurt my feelings and then it ruins my destiny. Greetings, fellow Cameroonians, both home and abroad, especially those below the age of 40. I want to remind you all that the destiny of that nation is in your hands. My name is Roland Fru. I was born in Northwest Region, Cameroon, and I reside right here in Texas, United States. This message is a wake-up call for you all to start doing what is necessary to build your nation. Your parents will not do it for you. The current leaders that we hope on will not do it for us. We have to be that catalyst of change. I want to draw our attention to the resolution 1608 that has been cited numerous times by political advocates. That thing, we need to revisit 1961 to bring about a resolution to our current predicament. The resolution 1608 is a document that actually talks about a dialogue that was supposed to be initiated on how the former British Southern Cameroon and the French-speaking Cameroonians will live together as one. You will realize that that specific resolution was not challenged by our people, the English-speaking Cameroonians. They did not challenge that resolution. They did not say they were not satisfied with that resolution. They did not also propose dialogue in order to make amendments to that specific resolution, which indicates that they were satisfied with the terms of coming together. And again, I want to remind us that it is not the responsibility of Britain or the UN to challenge that resolution. It was our responsibility. And our parents or our leaders at the time, Foncha and the KNDP party, did not challenge that resolution or did not propose that they were not satisfied with that resolution. It has also come to my knowledge that they exchanged notes on how they will live together, and there was no opposition. There was the Southern Cameroon Bar Association that proposed that we want to look into that resolution, we want to look into the constitution, we want to look into the agreement. But the KNDP party turned down that offer. That should also go into record. But what I want to discuss with you today is the notion of emphasizing legality in this entire concept. We come from a traditional society, and all of you will bear witness with me that before you get married, you are encouraged to perform certain traditional rites. Most of you are not married today because of how much you've been asked before you get married, the things you have to bring before you get married. And because it is very expensive, most of you end up not getting married. And when you spend money on the things that you've been asked, you realize that you start a home with your spouse and you don't even have enough to start a business and to live this life together in matrimony because of how much you've spent to get married. My question is, after you spend all this money in this process of getting married, they don't issue you any document, which indicates that the document that you obtain from the council or from the court is what actually matters for that union. We are talking about legality here because that is what they have emphasized, legality. And I want to say to all our people, if that is the case and you value legality. That is, you cannot shake hand even with somebody and they trust you that, oh, we're coming together. I'm not undermining the fact that there are some challenges that the English-speaking Cameroonians are facing. The reason why we are in this turmoil is because we came into this union and we never gave our all. We have always had one foot in and one foot out. And no matter what you do, there will always be some group of people within a nation that are not satisfied, no matter how you try to please them. And I want us to take that into consideration. And they will spread negative sentiment that will cause people not to give in their all into a nation. And in Cameroon, we have such groups. Today, people have acclaimed themselves as presidents, and they are spreading all sorts of ideas globally. I've talked about Gorgin Dinka. He came back from Europe at a time in 1960, at a time where globally there was rebellion. Martin Luther King in the United States of America, Nelson Mandela in South Africa, Eritrea, Biafra. In the 1960s was an era where people were rebellious. It is a historical fact. Eritrea fought at that time for their independence. Our people did not. They fold their arms and they hijack the teachers and the lawyers going on the street demanding certain rights, and they hijack that to bring up an article or resolution 1608. My question to you is, if you believed that you wanted change, why didn't you fight when it was time to do so? It is very, very painful, my friends, to revisit old wounds. The reason why many nations have been quiet about this is because no one is interested in something that happened in the 1960s, in 2021 or 2016 or 2024. No one is interested in that. I've been very privileged to attend numerous business conferences where you see millionaires, billionaires sit down to discuss issues. If you propose an idea that is outdated, people are not really interested in investing in such ideas. And that is why you see we are drawing the line. And we say this platform is for Cameroonians below the age of 40. Because there is a saying, a fool at 40 is a fool forever. When people have crossed a certain threshold, they can't accept new ideas. It is hard for them to even grasp new ideas. And so wasting your time trying to change your parents is not worth it. That is why you have to carve your own path. Let's come up with new ideas. Let's propose new ways that we want to live and actually have that happen in our dispensation. Not picking up an idea of someone who is 93 years old. And some of you will think it's about age, it's about how old you've been. I want to remind you that Gorgin Dinka was 33 years old. He was my age when he had all of these ideas coming back from Europe. Today you think you're following an idea of somebody who was 60 or 70. No, he wasn't. He was 33 years old when he came back from Europe as a lawyer with all these ideas and was looking for an opportunity. And when the nation changed from the United Republic of Cameroon to the Republic of Cameroon in 1984, he capitalized on that. And that is why you hear him saying, oh, when I presented this, they told me, yes, that is it. You've gotten it. They have always been looking for ways. They've been looking for opportunities to start this madness. Ambazonian did not start in 2016. This idea did not start in 2016. This idea started somewhere between 1984 and 1985. They've always had this idea to split up this nation. And the reason why I go back to this resolution 1608 is to help you understand where these people are coming from with all these ideas. It is not new. The teachers and the lawyers genuinely wanted transformation. We don't even hear their voices today anymore. And you ask yourself the question, why is it that we have this strike? All of a sudden you guys became presidents. All of a sudden you started forming a cabinet. All of a sudden you started forming a government. Why? Why? Why didn't we stick on the plight of the teachers and the lawyers and ensure that their voices are heard. And the demands that they are actually proposing is resolved. Why? Or their demands are granted. Why have we diverted from that? We are not fools. We will not blindly follow your propaganda. Cameroon is one nation. We know that the British Southern Cameroon was not competent to lead themselves. It's a fact. It's on record. Because some will say, oh, when you talk about Cameroon under Germany, we have to talk about all these neighboring nations. These neighboring nations were competent to lead themselves, and that is why they have independence today. We were not competent, and that is why they were proposed to us to either join Nigeria or join the Republic of Cameroon. And we made our decision. That is enough. You can shake somebody's hands on that and say, can we come together and work together, and we agree on that. But if you guys say it's all about legality, why do you charge people bride price? Why don't you just let the people go down there to the court, sign a document for 2,500 and become married and go on to build their lives? Why would you bring in tradition, which at the end of the day, when you go perform all those traditional rites, there's no document that you issue that is legal? Because after this message, young people, most of you, if you love each other and you want to get married, just go down there to the court and cut off all this tradition. Because it is not legal. They want us to be legal. So we will stick on legality. We'll be legal with every aspect of our community. Do you understand what I'm saying? We will have to go, because when tradition doesn't favor them, they go with legality. When legality doesn't favor them, they come with tradition. All the schemes will stop in this generation. It starts with marriage. If you want to get married, go down to the court, obtain a document, take your friends. When you go down to court, they don't ask you, you have to stand here with your mother or with your father or any relative. If you come down there with your friend and they are a witness, you sign your marriage, you're good to go. Get married. We should not have people living together and they are not married because of some traditional rites that they have to perform. Right here in the United States, it's enough for you to agree with your spouse, go down there, sign the document, you guys are married and you're good to go. That is exactly what we will start doing in Cameroon. No more traditional rights, because it is not legal. We have to follow legality. Number 2, native doctors. We will have to abolish every practice carried out by native doctors in our land, because they are not legal. They are not legal. If you haven't gone to school and obtained a license as a doctor, you should not be allowed to prescribe medication to people. You should not be allowed to set confusion, have people eat razor blade, have people eat borders, put blood around their body and oil and all that. It has to stop. If you want to practice traditional medicine, you should be able to have certification, have a document from the government saying that your traditional medication solves a problem and you are approved to operate in our community. Stop the practice of every witch doctor. Many people have died in the hands of native doctors. Confusion among families because of native doctors. You've hated some of your brothers or sisters because of native doctors. There's a lot of atrocities that this group of people have created, and they are not legal. They don't have any official document. And you guys want us to be legal, we have to be legal. We have to be legal. Number 3, when someone dies, from today henceforward, we will not say you have to bring certain things. And some people go up to the 4th generation and say you have to bring certain things and perform certain traditional rites. This has to stop. We will start practicing what nuclear family do, what nuclear families are doing around the world. A nuclear family consists of your wife, and you and your children. That is a family. That is what is practiced here in America. Any brother, sister, cousin, uncle, that should not be prioritized over this nuclear family for whatever reason. Anything that has to do with a brother, a sister, a cousin, an uncle is secondary. We will encourage nuclear families in Cameroon, in our communities. When someone dies, you don't have any obligation to your in-laws, to your grandparents, great-grandparents. All of this has to stop because it is not legal. At the end of the day, you spend all this money, but if you don't have documents that you're married to this woman, everything else is just a waste of time. Why would you spend all this money? Because these are resources we are talking about here. These people are always asking for stuff. And at the end of the day, you spend all this money. If you're not legal, then you're not considered married. Not only that, when you walk with your husband and you guys build an empire, when he passes on, your cousins or your uncles or your brothers or sisters will come to claim your property and kick out your wife. In some cases, they send her away with the children. And they forget the role that this woman played in the life of this man. And together they built that empire. And you kick that woman out and you say it is your brother's property. That is wrong. And it has to stop. We have to be legal with this. And I just want to say, young people, this, what I'm saying is what America is doing. You understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying to you is what is happening right here in the United States of America. And we will start practicing what works in our nation. And that is what works in America. They are trying to be legal. We are products of that nation. We are children born in this relationship. You will want to kick out everyone. You want to say you want to revise a constitution because you think there are some certain resources that you can capitalize on and build your own nation. So it is like a situation where you come into a relationship because you needed help, because you wanted to be together with your wife. And all of a sudden, your wife realizes that she has this inheritance and she wants to break out of that union. Because if you guys were not aware that you have all these resources, you wouldn't have all these opinions. You wouldn't have all these ideas. It's because you believe that if you break out of this union, you can be able to sustain yourself. That is greed. That is wickedness. That is witchcraft. The witchcraft spirit that caused the rebellion in the 1960s. You guys are manifesting it in this dispensation. This is 2024, and we will decide our future. And we don't want your opinion. If you're above the age of 40, support us financially. Stand there, ask us questions, and help in the best way that you can. We don't want your input. Your ideas have poisoned our minds negatively. Just like you guys never gave in your all into that nation to make it work. Today, you want us to continue with this train of thought. We say no to it. We say no to it with every iota of our being. We say no. We reject your ideas. And I want this message to be very clear and very, very clear to you all. We will be legal. Another aspect that I want to touch on is the chiefs. The chiefs govern our communities, govern our villages. And at the end of the day, the tradition that you are following is based on this head that is called a chief. We will have to abolish every position of a chief because it is not legal. What a chief says or does at the end of the day has no legal standing. All these practices might feel comfortable, but it is ripping us off. These practices are depriving us from opportunities. These practices of these chiefs and all these individuals is ripping us of opportunities because they are the one enforcing all these traditions that are not legal. It's not a coincidence that Gonji Dinka came back and decided to become a chief, because he understood the power that he will exert over the people if he adopts that position. I want you to understand what I'm saying here, because I'm not just talking from the physical, I'm also looking at everything in the spiritual. Whether you like it or not, the spiritual realm exists and it controls you. Thoughts are powerful. Everything that you see around you was once an idea in the mind of someone. And that is what I'm talking about, spiritual, what you cannot see. The intangible. Everything in life is not about what you can touch and feel. There's a lot going on in the spiritual, including thoughts. This Ambazonian idea was a thought in the mind of Gonji Dinka. Don't you see that all of a sudden the teachers went on the streets to march, and all of a sudden the card Ambazonian came out? You cannot shoot the spirit, but you can suppress it. This spirit should never be alive in our community again. The idea of secession should never exist again in our land, because it's full of schemes, it's full of manipulation, it's full of lies. If you didn't like the union, why didn't you oppose the union? Why didn't you do that? And those in the diaspora that are advocating for this movement, most of you are on exile. My question to you all is that, have you thought about your destiny? Are you going to die and be buried in the diaspora and you never see your home country again? Because what we are doing here has a plan to restore some of you if you decide to repent now. If you repent, we will help you and restore you back in that nation. But if you decide to continue doing what you're doing, I want to guarantee you it will fail and you will end up in exile forever. This is the time for you to reflect on your actions. This idea will not work. Who appointed you to be president? If you are on exile, what power do you have to preside over the people? This is how delusional we can be. When you talk about legality, do you have the legal rights to do what you are doing? Have you gone to court and won the case to have a nation before going down there to fight? So by that definition, you are illegal if you want to be legal. If you are following legality, how can you be on exile, which indicates you're illegal, and yet you have acclaimed yourself as a president? Does that even make sense? And you're trying to manipulate the people. Your organization, Ambazonian, is an NGO right here in the United States of America. A non-governmental organization. You go on your Wikipedia page, it says your territory is not yet recognized. Do you understand what that means? And that is why God is raising me in this dispensation to be the one that holds the torch so that you young people can achieve your dreams and build your nation. And I want to make it very clear, I'm not here to boss you. I'm not here to be your president. I'm a Cameroonian who is hungry for change. I see a lot of potential in us. Economic potential, social potential, technological potential that we can tap into and be able to partner with great nations around the world and bring about prosperity and transformation in our nation. I'm here to hold the torch. I'm here to give you hope. I'm here to inspire you. I'm here to help you believe in yourself. I'm here to help you understand that I believe in you. Even if you've grown up your whole life and no one believes in you, they have used age to hold you down. They've told you that they want to educate you because you don't know, just because they want to hold you down. I read a minimum of 4 books a week. And some of these people think they can educate me. The network of individuals that I have inspiring me, mentoring me, they cannot even work for one of them. Yet they want to educate me. Yet they think that I am young. And I want to let you know, you got to break free from any individual that tries to suppress you with age, or suppress you with the idea that they want to educate you when they don't even know who they are. They don't even understand their own lives. They cannot even lead their own families. They cannot be upright people. And yet they want to educate you. They want to help you. Help yourself first. Learn how to transform your thinking. Even if you're above the age of 40, you can become a whole new human being. There are great individuals that were able to transform their thinking even after the age of 40. No matter how hard it is, you can. But it's going to be tough for you because you keep looping back to the same thinking. And that is the stress that you have to deal with after the age of 40. That is why God has not used many people after that age. That's why Jesus Christ was 30 when he started. At 33, he was done with his mission and he was out of here. There's a reason why all the great entrepreneurs that you see today in the world, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, all these guys started very young. And none of them did the great things that we see today when they were 40. It was below that age. And that is why I'm rising up to let you know, if you let this time pass you by, you let this opportunity pass you by, you will regret. You will regret because you'll be singing the same songs like them, trying to go back and revisit old wounds, hoping that they will find a solution to their problems through that. That is not the solution. Have a compelling vision for the future. Let's talk more about the future and not the past. Let's stop talking about slavery and slave trade. Colonialism, that is the past. Learn from it and move on. History was not designed to be a resting place, to be a place where you visit and try to make sense of your problem. 1961 wasn't designed for you to visit it in 2020 or 2024 and try to make sense of it. It's for you to understand what happened, study it so that you can make the future better. That is why we see this bitterness and loss of lives trying to go visit 1961. We will get more frustration and bitterness if we go to visit colonialism. We will get more frustration and bitterness if we go back to visit slavery and slave trade. That is the pain that comes upon you when you decide to dwell on the past. Even in your own personal life, if you've been hurt by a loved one, let it go and move on. Because if you dwell on that, you will be stagnant. So I want to emphasize, do not consider their traditions because it is illegal. And the legal way is cheaper. And you'll be able to have enough money to build a life with your spouse rather than spending that money on tradition, when at the end of the day, most of them are following legality to state their claim. Let's follow legality. Let's go legally. In marriage, in all these traditional rights that you guys are professing, everything. These native doctors that are not legal, we gotta quit allowing them to practice their witchcraft in our communities. All these chiefs and all of these primitive practices, we gotta let it go and follow what works. and build a thriving community. That is my message for you. You never challenged the resolution 1608. The Southern Cameroon Bar Association offered to look into these documents. You didn't give them the chance. You turned them down, claiming that you got it under control. The people that went into that constitution are all dead and gone. Let bygones be bygones. Deal with what you have now. The reason why we are not successful in that nation is because we have never given our all into that nation to make it work. And when you come with suspicion, when you come with all these negative sentiments, French-speaking Cameroonians are humans and they can feel it. And that is why you have been deprived of opportunities. But we are changing our mind in this dispensation. As young people, we'll be cooperative. We'll learn how to work with each other. We'll learn how to have good character. We'll learn how to believe in our nation, believe in ourselves. When you say something, you do it. When you say you're coming, be there. Be an upright human being. Do not depend on the government to do everything for you. In America here, 90% of the jobs are created by the private sector. In my time in Cameroon, growing up, I never depended on the government to do anything for me. With the basic literature class that I attended, I was able to go out there and create a film club, mentoring young people in my community every Sunday for 2 to 3 hours, helping them to believe in themselves and understand that they can be somebody. Some of them who could not speak English, good English, they learned how to speak good English through my initiative. They learned how to stand on stage and talk to people, be confident and courageous. Leaders came out of that film club, and that is what I was able to do for my community. Right here in the United States of America, I've been able to inspire the Dallas Film Club to help young Americans understand that they can believe in Texas. They can believe that they can be able to produce films right here, and those films can go global. I've inspired them right here. I enter, I speak, and they clap for me. Americans, young people in this nation, they clap for me. When I speak, I get a standing ovation. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've inspired Indians in this country to quit their jobs and go start businesses. And they are successful people today. I've been on the district stage of Toastmasters twice. I just want to help you understand that God prepared me for this, to inspire you, to help you be all that He has created you to be. And if there's anything that I can do, is to inspire the young people in my nation to believe in themselves. Because this 20 years plan that we have is a plan of inclusiveness. It's a plan of collaboration. It's a plan of unity. It's a plan of determination. It's a plan that has a faith backing it up. The belief that you too can be all that God created you to be. You are not in this world to be a spectator. You're here in this world to change things. You're here in this world to be that beacon of hope to others, including white folks. When I sit down with them and talk, living that environment, they have a lot of respect for me. We exchange ideas. There's no superior here, because you will feel it that this individual has worked extremely hard to be the kind of human being that he is. And when I talk, they listen. They feel it. They learn. And they go out there to become who God created them to be. That is who I am. That is who Roland Fru is. That every day of my life when I wake up is to move the human race forward. It's to make people become better. It's to unite people, not divide people. It's to move forward and not looking back to the past. It's to build and not destroy. It's to let people live and not die. That is why I exist. That That is why I'm here. And I will do that for my nation. So choose those who you want to follow carefully. Choose those who you listen to carefully. Because what comes into your ear will either bring life or death. The company you keep around you will either produce life or death. I'll prefer someone that will tell me the truth and it hurts my feeling, but it preserves my future, than someone who will lie to me because they don't want to hurt my feelings and then it ruins my destiny. I will tell you the truth in love, including our parents. Have mercy on them. A lot of them don't know what they are doing. A lot of them are wired to think this way because of the conditioning they have had. Detach yourself from their spirit and their influence. Any idea that will cause division, separation, and death, don't welcome that idea. Welcome ideas that brings hope, unity, peace, freedom, and prosperity. Those are the ideas that are transformative. They bring light to your soul. You can be all God created you to be. I love you guys so much. And long live the Republic of Cameroon. Long live English-speaking Cameroonians. Long live French-speaking Cameroonians. Long live the youths of that nation. You guys are blessed. You are amazing. Your best days are ahead of you. You are the best kept secret of Africa. You are. And this is your time to shine. Keep the flame burning.
All right, if you like this video, you're going to like this other episode and you can watch it by clicking right here.